Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times. Today we are premiering my Animal Crossing mug because I decided after Animal Crossing was responsible in part for my sanity in 2020, it was just fair for me to get a coffee mug from Animal Crossing. And I am here to make one of the videos that you guys love the most. I know, because it's always the videos that get the most views. And we have today for you guys a book haul.
It's coffee time.
So when I start buying books, I have a designated area where I always put them until I have enough to make a book haul. And I thought, oh, I don't have so many. But then I checked and I realized, well, actually you do. Actually, you got too many books yet again. There is a little bit of everything in this book haul. We have horror, we have thriller, we even have fantasy, which is something that I don't always normally get, but there is a couple of fantasy books in this haul, also some exclusive limited editions. So before we jump to all of those nice books that I got, if you love horror and if you love books, you're in the right place. If you're new here, if it's the first video you're seeing, consider subscribing before you leave and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more coffee times. Alright, time to start our book haul. And the first book that I have to show you, it's actually a book that the author kindly enough sent to me. He reached out to me and asked me if I would like to check out his book, and I said, of course, you know, horror short stories, yes please. And that is Tales of Horror and Madness by Colin C. Martin. He also has a horror podcast called the Horrific Podcast that you can check. I'm gonna leave the link down below. If you love all things horror, make sure to check it out. And these are short horror stories, so I'm really excited to check them out. I'm probably gonna make a reading vlog out of it so that I can let you know guys my thoughts and feelings about this book. Now let's go to a couple of book sets or book boxes. Normally I don't purchase book boxes, it's not something that I look for. However, it's a coincidence because first of all, I wanted to get the Grisha trilogy. The Netflix show is coming out on April, so I wanted to read the books before the show comes out, and I have actually read 2 of the books already, so I just have the third book left before I jump into the show in April. And the price for the box was cheaper than getting the books separate, so I was like, you know what, since I need to get the 3 of them anyways, I'll just get the box. And these are the remade covers. I actually really like the old ones as well, but these are the new covers with the Netflix sticker. And the good thing about these ones though is they come with like extra content. Every volume has like an interview with the author and some extra kind of story from one of the characters or a letter for one of the characters, so it's really cool to get the bonus content as well. The next box is because it was such a steal. So if you guys don't know it, because I haven't talked about those books for a long time, but I absolutely love the Miss Peregrine's books by Ransom Riggs, and I own them. I started collecting them in paperback, but the last ones I have purchased in hardback, so I've always wanted to get the first 3 books in hardback as well. And Amazon had a deal. They had the 3 first books in hardback with some extra nice postcards, collectible, peculiar photographs. Amazing. And I think I only paid like 20 or 23 euros for 3 hardbacks, and I was like, yes please. So this is going to be amazing for my collection. I have not opened it yet. I'm gonna wait until I move because I don't see the need. I've read the books, I have them in paperback if I want to reread them, so these are just coming with me whenever I move, and then they will find a nice place on my shelves. But I just wanted to grab them because this deal was just too good to pass on it. And I really love that it comes with the collectible photographs, because the photographs in this series is something that makes it that much more special. So yeah, if you haven't checked this series out and you love kind of dark stories about kids with superpowers, but nothing really horror, because this is not really horror. I would recommend you to give this one a try. I just absolutely loved it. I just love to follow the peculiars. The next book was a present that I received a long time ago from a subscriber, from Andreas. He's always so supportive. He's always in my lives. I appreciate it so much. And he decided to send me The Grip of It by Jack Dempsey. And this is a book that has been recommended to me a couple of times, and I know it's about a house and weird things that happen in the house. It's supposed to be really good. I don't know yet, but it's one that I've always wanted to get and I never did, so I'm really happy that I have it now so that I can check it out. So I'm gonna make now a small section of books that I have already read but that I have repurchased because I already own these books, kind of like what happened with The Peculiars. And the thing is, I have never talked about these books on my channel because I read them a long time ago, before I even had a booktube channel. But I am a huge fan of A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. I binged through those books some years ago and I just absolutely loved it. I loved to immerse myself in that world, and yeah, I'm still sad that it's never going to be continued by the looks of it. So I'm just gonna have to be content with the books that we have outside. And so I only own the paperbacks that they released, and they're very chunky because they are very long books, and so I've never really loved the format, and I was always looking for that perfect hardcover edition, and they never really released hardcovers for some time. But then they did some limited exclusive editions that are as well illustrated, so I have started collecting those. Are they cheap? No. Are they awesome? Yes. So I decided to buy the first 2 volumes. They only have volume 1, 2, and 3 out right now, and this is how they look. They're awesome. They're amazing. I love them. They're stunning, and the illustrations inside are just out of this world. They're just so beautiful. I will show them to you in a second. And these go for like from 23-25 to 30 euros per book, which is not extremely expensive because that's what you also pay for a regular hardcover, that it's a new release. And I really love these series. I would like to reread them at some point. So I love that I have now some amazing editions that I can read way more comfortably than those chunky paperbacks. So here is the edition, the limited edition of Game of Thrones, and they all come with this amazing map in color. Then we have, in every chapter, we have very special kind of headers that I absolutely love, and we have black and white images as well as full colored ones, and it's just so amazing. I mean, just look at this. It's just amazing. This is what I meant about the chapters. They're all edited like this, and I absolutely love it. And the images, they're just so stunning, black and white or color. They are all so amazing. I absolutely love these editions. This is the other one, A Clash of Kings. It has as well here the map in color, follows the same format, and also has images in color. I mean, just look at this. It's so amazing. And it also has some images in black and white, and this type of editing is gonna make the reading experience so much better than those paperbacks. I just love them. Also, I love that in the spine of the books you can see which family you're gonna be following the most in that book. Of course, the first one we have the Starks with the wolves. I just love the attention paid to detail with these illustrated editions. So when I read A Song of Ice and Fire, I then never picked up any of all of those prequels, sequels, and spin-offs, everything that they started releasing. And I have decided now to slowly pick up all of those books as well in hardcover to build up my own kind of Game of Thrones hardcover collection, if you may. So I have picked up this bad boy here. It is A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It is also the illustrated edition, and this is a century before a Game of Thrones. So I grabbed this one secondhand. It was half the price and it looks new, so I'm really happy. And this is one that I have not read yet, so I'm just super excited to be picking up these ones now so that I can read also a little bit more fantasy here and there. This is the other illustrated edition of these prequel from the story, and in this case it's not such a high-end illustrated edition as the ones that I have already shown you, but it's really cool to have some illustrations when you're reading fantasy. Our next candidate for the category books that I already own but I decided to grab another copy of, we have More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. I saw that they had re-released this in paperback, and this is a special edition. It has it's called Deluxe Edition with a new final chapter, so I'm really excited to see what alternate ending we will get here. And it has an introduction by Angie Thomas, plus this cover is stunning. So yeah, I decided to pick it up because this is my favorite Adam Silvera book, and I knew that I had to get this paperback even though I already own the book. But it has another ending, it has a nice introduction, a nicer cover. We all know that, you know, it's just excuses for grabbing the same book again, but I had to. And the last book in this category of books that I already own and have already read but I decided to repurchase, we have Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan, The Fall. This is book 2 in the Strain trilogy. I own these books, but it was in the small paperbacks as well, so I wanted to grab nice hardcover copies for the collection because I really love this trilogy. I really love the take on vampires. You guys know I'm obsessed with Guillermo del Toro, so I had to pick it up. And yeah, I got this one as well used for a decent price, and now I only have to grab the third one to complete the trilogy. The next book that I have picked up, it's a book that I have really been meaning to read, and that is My Sister, the Serial Killer. I have heard amazing things about this book. A couple of people that I follow on booktube have been raving about it, and I've been meaning to pick it up, so I finally did, and I'm really excited to read it. I think this is going to be also perfect for maybe a readathon because it's not too chunky. So yeah, definitely one that I'm really excited to finally get to read. Next we have a non-fiction book that I have also been meaning to get for the longest time, and that is I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. This is a search and investigation trying to find the Golden State Killer, and I've always been meaning to read this book, always wanted to grab it, but the hardcover was always so expensive, so I found it now secondhand for half the price in like new condition. So I'm super glad that I finally have it and finally get to read some true crime non-fiction this year. The next book, actually, it was a kind of spontaneous purchase after I watched Kayla's video from Books and Lala, because when she talked about this book and I looked up the synopsis online, I was like, must have right now. And that is Mrs. Death. And this is a book that, if I understood correctly from the synopsis, it is about Death herself that is a little bit bored with her life, and she decides to look for this writer to kind of get to tell her stories through his writing and kind of write her own memoir as Death. And I was like, yes please. Yes. So I don't know what to expect from this book. It was such an impromptu purchase. Like, I was watching her video and I was like, we're buying it right now, because Amazon had it for only, I think, $12.99, which is a very decent price for a hardcover. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this, but I'm excited. And from one booktuber that made me buy a book to another booktuber who made me buy two books by watching his video, and that is Cameron from the Library Macabre. I was watching one of his last videos and I wanted to get so many of the books he was talking about, but there were two that were middle grade that I was like, I want to read more middle grade, and those look so good. I need to get them, and Amazon had them for a really good price, so I decided to grab them. And it's these two books here. The first one is Monster Street, The Boy Who Cried Werewolf by J.H. Reynolds, and I believe this is a series, so there's gonna be more books that I can get if I enjoy this one. And the other one, I mean, this cover wasn't beatable. When I saw this cover, I was like, I'm getting that book with that cover because I need it. And that is Wait Till Helen Comes, a ghost story by Mary Downing Hahn. And I have never read anything by her, but this cover looks just so stunning. Just look at it. It was just a book that I had to have. Then I have a paperback that I was able to find from a horror book that I've been meaning also to read for the longest time, and that is Shrine by James Herbert. And this is about a child that has the power to heal, but is this a blessing or is this a curse? Is this child have this, you know, this power, this gift that it's going to be great for humanity, or is it something demonic that people should fear? Like, I just love this premise so much. Plus I was able to find this old copy, this old paperback, and I absolutely love this cover as well. Our next book is a book that has divided the booktube community, and a lot of people have been reading this book in the month of March. I was thinking not to read it, just let it go, but then during a live show I just purchased it and I have read it, and I actually am one of those people that really enjoyed it, even though it was intense and it felt at times like a task. I'm talking about House of Leaves, you guys. House of Leaves, that dreaded book that a lot of people DNF, and I get it. Also, I have to say, it's not accessible for everybody because of the way that the book is edited and put together. So it's not going to be a book that everybody would really be able to even read. But yeah, I think you all know about this dreaded book. A cursed book indeed. So yeah, I ended up buying a copy, and I will let you know my thoughts on it on my wrap up, but it's a book that I got in the month of March, so I had to include it on this book haul. Then I have a couple of new releases that I grabbed. I have 3 new releases. The first one is Later by Stephen King, which I have already read and made a spoiler-free review video for you guys if you want to check it out. This is his newest thriller with a little bit of horror because there is a supernatural aspect to it, and I really enjoyed it. So if you're looking for something like sort of like The Sixth Sense, where a kid is able to see ghosts and it has also some kind of thriller feeling to it, this might be for you. Now we have a book that I have been trying to get since February. I first pre-ordered it in Amazon. They said they were gonna deliver it in 2-3 weeks. Then they said they didn't know when they were gonna be able to deliver it, so I had to cancel it and get it from Book Depository. So it's finally here. It's also kind of like a cursed book indeed, but I am glad that it's here, and that is The Burning Girls by CJ Tudor. I have read her other 3 books, enjoyed them, and I've heard that this is her best one. And honestly, for me, it's been also kind of progressive. Like the first one, okay, second one I enjoyed more, the third one is so far my favorite. So I'm like, yeah, for me it's also kind of going progressively. So is this going to be my new favorite? We will have to see. But I was, you know, hoping to read this one in February, but it took so long to get to me that I never really had the chance. So it's probably gonna end up on my April TBR pile because I really want to know my thoughts on this book. If you want me to do a spoiler-free reading vlog about this one, let me know. I wanted to do it in February, but I was not able to. But if you guys are still interested, let me know down below, and I definitely can do that when I finally get to read it in April. And because I learned from The Burning Girls, the next new release, I decided to get it straight from Book Depository. You know, just to be on the safe side, and that is Bridge of Souls, which is book 3 on this Cassidy series by V. Schwab. and I'm really excited to get to it. This one takes place in New Orleans. This is also about a girl that can see ghosts. In this case, she's able to cross the veil between the living and the dead, and her parents are paranormal investigators that have this kind of show on television, which is kind of bogus, and they don't know that their daughter actually can see ghosts, which I think is very ironic and really entertaining. So I did enjoy the first two. I think it's a really good spooky middle grade series, and I'm really excited to get to book 3. Alright you guys, so these were all the books that I have been accumulating since my last book haul. I think the last one was in January, so it's not too bad. It's been worse before because most of these books are new releases that I needed or repurchases of things that I want to get for my collection. So at least I have been a little bit more mindful of the things that I was purchasing and why, instead of just buying all the things that I used to do before. So I'm actually really glad. Let me know down below what you thought about the books that I have shown you in this video, and let me know what is a new release you are really excited about, or a new book that you have purchased recently that you're really excited to read. Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching you guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up for support, and I hope to see you all guys in the next coffee time. Bye!